Lonestardiggin. Doing a little hauling today. Just thought I would talk about something. As y'all can see from the title, how to start your own excavation, dirt work business. Y'all can take it with a grain of salt. I'm no professional excavation guy, professional business. This is just what I know, what I've been through, what I've experienced starting this business. Still new at the business. I've always had a passion for doing dirt work and excavation work, and of course y'all know me, the ones that do watch and are subscribed. I had a four-wheeler accident when I was 18 and paralyzed my left arm, so that kind of put my goals and dreams, you know, kind of on a back burner. But I guess I started the business about 4 years ago, and you know, I gotta say, starting out the business, I didn't quit my full-time job. I was still working for the county full-time, and I just this year, I mean, finally went full-time for the business. So I started out my business working a full-time job and doing jobs on the side. I worked 4 10-hour days, and I had off Friday, Saturday. So that's how I was able to do my jobs in the evenings and Fridays and Saturdays. You know, unless you're older and you have some money, retired, sold a business, and you're able to go out and buy equipment, you know, that's one way, and I can't speak for those people. But as for me, I've had to work up to everything that I have. I started out with a skid loader. Probably a skid loader or mini excavator, I would say, would be where I would start. If you were looking into getting into the business, I would get a skid loader or mini excavator. Both of those can do many different jobs. You can use your own truck, your own trailer to pull them around. You know, you don't have to break the bank. So that's kind of what I did. I was in a full-time job, but went and bought a skid loader, went and bought a trailer, started getting jobs. Kind of got the skid loader paid off, and then I moved up. And so, you know, when I first started out the business, you know, I wasn't the cheapest, but I wasn't the most expensive. I knew how to, that was one thing about me, I knew how to run the equipment. And I knew for the most part what to do on jobs. So, you know, I kind of had a foot up on maybe somebody that's starting brand new. You know, and I thought at first I was doing great. You know, making some money until my first major repair. You know, it set me back $25,000. So everything that I had made, I had to spend it to fix my repairs. And I think that's the biggest thing going into really any business, you know, equipment for sure, but it's finding out what to charge, what you charge on jobs. And I'm still to this day learning, I'm still doing this, what to charge, my rates, my hourly, whether I do it hourly or by the job. You know, I live really rural, so what I charge, some people laugh at it. They're like, no way, I wouldn't move my skid loader for that. But being so rural, I feel like, you know, I'm in my own, you know, rural places are kind of different pricing than, you know, you live in a really big, you know, populated area. But, you know, I started out with one piece of equipment, kind of got the hang of it, bought a couple little attachments, not expensive attachments. Then I moved up to an excavator, you know, did that for a year or two. Then I bought a dozer, I did that for a year. Went and got my CDL. To grow my business anymore, I had to have a CDL because where I live, it doesn't pay, it doesn't justify having somebody haul your equipment for you. If I was, you know, at a different, more popular area that charged more, you could pay somebody to move your equipment. But I feel like that just dips into your own profit. So, you know, just start small. If this is something you're wanting to do and passionate about, watch videos, and there's so many guys on YouTube doing this. You can watch and learn so much from them and what to do, how to bid. I always seem like I try to overbid. That way when, you know, I try to plan for all the what ifs, because if you don't and you quote a job, you know, you're going to either make somebody unhappy or not get called back again. So I try to bid my jobs high, and then when I give them a cheaper bill, they're happy about it. If I think it's going to take 2 loads, I'll quote 3 or 4 loads. If I think it's going to take 2 hours, I'll quote them at 4 hours or half a day, or which that's what I've learned over the time. I've kind of made myself have a minimum, like a 4-hour minimum or a 3-hour minimum. There's so many different ways you can do it, you know. Just do an hourly rate and then charge somebody for delivery. I guess I'd rather just have a flat rate and you don't charge me delivery fees and delivery prices and equipment moves. I like when I go to a restaurant, you know, I don't want to see the tip included or the 3% credit card. You know, I want to, what the price is what I want to pay. All these extra fees I don't love. So that's kind of how I do the business. Just a straight price by the hour, you know, no hidden fees, no hidden costs. But it's all about just starting somewhere, whether you rent the machine to start with, just make sure you figure in all those prices, you know. You don't want to do a job and end up losing your butt on it or not making money. I mean, I would say for the first year I probably broke even, learning, and I'm still learning. I just bought this dump truck that I'm driving now, you know, and that's all new to me as far as what to charge. You know, I know what people around my area charge, but that don't necessarily mean that works for me. So each piece of equipment, whether it's small, large, truck, you know, they got their own price. You know, it's a learning experience. But don't quit your day job. If you don't have the money, and you know you didn't retire, or you didn't sell a business, and you don't have the money, don't quit your day job. From my experience and from what everybody else I've seen, the number one thing I think it takes getting your name out there. You can advertise all you want, but getting your name out there is the best form of advertising that I think there is. So, you know, if you're looking to get into this business, don't quit your day job, especially younger guys. I know it feels good, you go do a job and you get paid, but you don't have one of those a week. You know, when I first started, I didn't have a job a week, a job a day, I mean. I might have had a job a week, but that wouldn't pay my bills. And then once you kind of start getting established, getting your name out there, I think it probably took me 2 years, 3 years, and then I went part-time with my job where I could focus more time on my business. And I did that for about a year. And after that year, that's when I decided to quit my full-time job and go strictly with the business. So, you know, it depends on what area you're in, what your goals are. You know, it's just a learning experience and getting your name out there. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. You have your full-time job to back you up when you do make some mistakes. But, you know, it's just start small. It's hard not to dive into it head first, you know, and just go buy a bunch of equipment. Buy a bunch of notes, get a bunch of notes. And then what happens when you can't pay the bills? Then you're having to sell it. And then you probably lose money on the sale if you didn't buy it at a good price. We just got here to the job where I'm dumping this gravel at. digging this up and crushing it. Just digging it up with the excavator until they get down to that next layer. That next layer gets real hard. They're gonna have to blast this second layer. I got this first layer that's coming up real good, but they can't dig that second layer. It's so hard. They had a jackhammer on that over there. They got a little rebel crusher, separates it. Separate the fines and the base and the dirt out of it. And crush that up. That's full. Maybe that was 3. Wasn't counting very good. Or maybe he's overloading me. I don't know which one. Looks like overloading me, because I can see it. Hey, you're overloading me. You paying the ticket? You paying the ticket? Alright guys, that's my last load for here today. I'm gonna go get a load of sand on my way home. Kind of on my back haul. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. PTO off. Gate kind of hangs if you go kind kind of make it bounce, it'll shut. There it goes. I don't know if y'all heard that. Now I can latch my gate. Tarps down. Alright guys, when I get to the sand plant, I'll bring y'all back. Y'all stay tuned. Don't get out of here and get run over. Pretty area down here where I'm hauling to. About an hour more from where I live. Taping the bed so the sand won't fall out. That sand's real fine. Kind of keep it from falling out as much. Y'all can see there I got tape all around it. Keep it from coming out. Now if I can get out of here. So these sand plants around here are known for their frack sand, where they frack oil wells, gas wells. This area is known for its frack sand. It's been like this for a long, long time. Well, I don't know where my loader operator is. I'm assuming right there. He ain't come up here yet. Oh, here he is. All joystick controlled. So yeah, so they'll screen all this sand and they'll get the frack sand out of it, you know, concrete sand. whatever they looking for, but their main thing is frac sand. They kind of quit using it as much. They found some sand out in West Texas, and they've been using that frac sand out there more. Some of these sand plants have actually shut down around here, but this sand here is known for frac sand. I think this place here actually sells to a glass company. Sells their sand to a glass company, or makes glass, if I'm not mistaken. Got some nice looking equipment though. I seen a big old 850K dozer over there. I'd like to have that, minus the emissions. He's covering me in sand. It's good for my breather. Alright guys, I'm going to scale out, way out, head to the ranch to drop this load. Y'all stay tuned, guys. Alright guys, we've made it to our last load destination. So this is that caliche pit County got stuff out of. And my buddy with that excavator, that 220 Volvo that helped me, dug this out real deep and wanted me to bring some sand over here, because that ain't nothing but clay right there. That's deep enough you can dive in it. But he wanted me to bring him some sand over here, make him a little beach. So I'm gonna dump this up on here on the high ground. He didn't want me to dump it down there where it washed in. So that wind's blowing hard from the south, so I'm gonna dump it facing the south so that my truck don't get covered. But anyways guys, I appreciate y'all coming along, listening to my 2 cents, showing y'all a little bit of what I've been doing. I've been hauling some gravel and stuff and sand, so hadn't been on too many jobs worth really videoing or recording, so just kind of wanted to give my 2 cents on, you know, starting your own business. And if any of y'all are, you know, questioning or got questions, or, you know, don't know where to start, or, you know, like I was, not sure, still learning, you know, the best thing to do is just get your feet wet, start small and work your way up. There's so many people out there makes videos that y'all can watch, get pointers from, and if that's something that, you know, y'all want to do. And, you know, if y'all have a disability, or, you know, don't think you can, trust me, there's a way you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. It just takes time, effort, you know, learning. Life, businesses are, you know, all about learning the business. And Really, that's what it boils down to. Knowing the business, learning the business, what to charge. Don't take jobs you know you can't do. Don't quit your day job. Not yet. If you're just starting out, don't quit your day job. I didn't want to quit the county because I really didn't want to quit the county because, you know, it's been such a security for me for the last 14 years. You know, it's scary going off on your own. I don't have kids yet, but I have a wife and a home and bills to be paid. And I don't know if y'all's area is like this area, but it's doing nothing but growing. Getting bigger and growing, and so don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Just don't bite off more than you can chew. Excavator, small excavator, skid loader is the best place to start, in my opinion. I'd be, you know, in the meantime, you could be getting a CDL. You know, you're going to eventually want it. You don't have to have it, but you will eventually want it one day. So I may even, you know, if you want to go that route, get a CDL and buy a truck. You know, kind of get the, I don't know which way you want to call it, but get the horse before the carriage, or get the carriage before the horse. You know, if you're more into the trucking side of stuff, buy a dump truck. Don't buy a piece of equipment. You can rent it, buy the dump truck, get your CDL, and then just rent your equipment. When you feel good with that, you're at the point, then you can upgrade and buy a piece of equipment. But anyways, guys, if y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments, or y'all get a hold of me. However, anything I can do to help. I want to point out that, you know, none of this would be possible without my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He's what keeps me going and keeps me strong, and I lean on Him, put all my trust and faith in Him. But anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all watching. Let me know what y'all think. Good to see y'all again. I know it's been a minute. Just been busy hauling. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, guys.